let's get started. Let's see what's going on here. Let's see what's going on in this crazy world.
It's every parent's worst nightmare. A teenage girl goes missing, and a few days later, she's found dead in the woods. And worse yet, in this case, another teen, a classmate of hers, is charged with her murder. Did he kill her? And if he did, why? And how will the classmates and her family live with this tragedy? We're going to dive into the details.
Oh my God.
And talk with family law attorney Matt Hinson right now. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law&Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Macon County High School in Tennessee had ended for the summer. Students were looking forward to kicking back, enjoying their break. But for one 17-year-old and her family and friends, that was not to be. On July 3rd, Trinity Bostic, a girl described as a firecracker, someone who would light up any room she walked into, kind-hearted, smart, someone who had her whole life in front of her, was found dead. Her body was discovered by a Tennessee Department of Transportation worker who was picking up trash along Vietnam Veterans Boulevard in Hendersonville. Her cause of death is still being investigated, but what we do know is that a teenage boy has been arrested in connection with her death, facing a charge of first-degree murder. I'm going to lay out the timeline of events for you as laid out by reporting in this case. So on June 29th, Trinity had done something out of character. Her friend Chloe Redfield remembers, quote, "She actually had texted me that she was running away from home." So Chloe kept trying to call Trinity, but when she didn't answer, Chloe grew suspicious since it wasn't like her friend to just go off the grid. Now, Chloe said she didn't really believe that Trinity had disappeared until the sheriff's office for Macon County came knocking at her door at 10 that night. So the Macon County Sheriff's
Oh no, Candy Perfume Girl, good to see you. Thanks for popping in.
Department, they had received a runaway report. They traced Trinity's phone to Sumner County, which is about an hour away, and they sent out a bolo be on the lookout. But here's a question. Does any of that make sense? Did Trinity really run away? Her friends described her as someone who was excited about graduating the following year, a smart girl, a hard worker, loving, caring. She enjoyed music, fashion, working on cars with her father at his auto body shop. So why would she just pick up and leave, right? And as we know, her remains are found in a small wooded area near a road. So something's not making sense here about all this.
That's crazy.
Now, Trinity's friends and family, they're in shock. And you know what also makes this incredibly sad? Is that reportedly this wasn't the first Macon County student to lose their life. No, class president Landon Connor said that in the past 4 years, a student had passed away each year from different causes. In this case, we have a suspect. And as I mentioned, Hendersonville police, they have arrested and charged a 17-year-old classmate of Trinity's. Now, police, they haven't released his identity because he's a minor, but he is being held in Sumner County where Trinity's body was found. Trinity's friend Chloe said that the boy had gone to high school with them. And Landon Connor, again, the class president, said he was in their grade, that he talked to him a couple of times but didn't really know him. Hendersonville police said they do suspect foul play here in connection with Trinity's death, but it didn't elaborate any further. They did release a statement saying,
"This is in Tennessee, Mama Bear."
In order to maintain the integrity of the investigation, that's why they're not releasing any more information. But anybody with information about Trinity or how her body wound up near that road is asked to call the Hendersonville Police Department at 615-822-1111 or the Hendersonville Crime Stoppers at 615-594-4113. So to help make sense of this crime, which is really, it seems impossible to do because it seems, how do you make sense of this? But I do have a lot of questions, and I think a lot of us have a lot of questions. I want to talk to family law attorney Matt Hinson, who has, unfortunately, specific experience in this area because Matt has represented the family of Tristan Bailey. That was that 13-year-old Florida girl who was brutally killed by her classmate, then 14-year-old Aiden Fucci. We actually produced a whole Prime Crime episode on it where we spoke with Tristan Bailey's family. Matt, good to see you. What is your initial impression of a story like this?
It's sad. It's gut-wrenching that we're seeing this yet again in our society, and unfortunately, we're seeing more and more cases of things like this in the media, in our local communities as well. So my heart, and I can tell you the family of Tristan Bailey, their heart goes out to Trinity's family as well.
They're aware of the case. Have they offered support in any way to Trinity's family?
It's such a new case. It's out there in the media. I haven't had a chance to speak with them on any specifics yet, but I can tell you from the standpoint of the foundation, and I'm the president of the Tristan Bailey Foundation as well. We do offer victim advocacy services to any family anywhere in the United States that is going through this, where they've lost a child, and dealing with the media aspect of it, as well as what they have to expect from prosecutors.
I was going to ask you that. In terms of what her family and friends are going through, what are the services your foundation could provide? Do you believe that retaining an attorney at this point in time is a wise decision? I mean, what would an attorney help with? What are some of the issues they're now navigating?
The primary issues they're now navigating, and this is what we as a larger community need to understand and remember, is the primary issues they're dealing with is grief. They're dealing with the grieving, and it's not just their family, but all of the children in that community are dealing with a massive grief. They need to focus on that, number one. Number two, whether or not the family needs an attorney, that's really kind of a specific issue for whatever the circumstances are in the case. My role in helping all of the families that I've worked with, and it's not just Tristan Bailey's family, I've worked with others in other states, is assisting with just understanding the process. Because
Stephanie, absolutely. This one got sent to me. Actually, all four of the cases we're talking about tonight got sent to me. So thanks for recommending the videos and sending the videos over, y'all.
The process. And
YouTube, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. TikTok, hit the follow button. Keep tapping the screen like crazy too. Let's get 25,000 likes. And thank you for the hand hearts.
And the criminal justice system is very defendant oriented. Is oriented towards their rights. And so there'll be a lot of things, I think you just mentioned, that prosecutors and police will be tight-lipped on, because they need to protect the integrity of that investigation and the ultimate prosecution. And so helping explain that process to them is useful, so that they understand properly what they should plan on seeing and hearing over the coming, what could be years of the criminal process playing out.
Generally speaking, at this point, do you see that while law enforcement might not speak to the media or the public about what's happening in the investigation, do they let the family know? Or is there a concern that if you let the family know, then the information
Melly Angel, thank you.
Might, go out further, and that ultimately it might be shared with the wrong people? I mean, I would imagine, I think the right thing to do here is to let the family know what's happening. You don't have to let everybody else know, but let the family know. And I imagine a lawyer could be a good liaison between the family and law enforcement. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, and that is certainly a concern that law enforcement is going to have, is how much information they can share. They want to share. I can tell you that. Law enforcement and prosecutors, they do what they do because they care. And they care not just about their case, but they care about the victims. And the victims in this it's not just Trinity. It is the family and the community. So they want to be able to provide those resources, especially before they get brought out to the media. They want to provide that information to them as best they can, but in no way, shape, or form do they want to do so that would compromise anything about bringing justice for Trinity.
And to be clear, I think it's important sometimes for these families to have representation, to explain the process to them, because even if you talk about a trial, what they could be exposed to at a trial. Also, the legal system can be very frustrating when there's delays.
Delinda, thank you.
In a case, I mean, we've talked about.
Y'all, basically the quick recap is that she was presumed missing, or presumed a runaway. She went missing, but then they found her remains in a forest. And then they arrested and charged one of their classmates, this minor kid, in it. So that's all we know right now. Delinda, thank you. You're so sweet. Let's keep going.
About it before with the Brian Kohberger case, how frustrating that is for that family there, that they haven't seen a trial yet. And we just covered a case another day where a family is very frustrated about the idea of a defendant who may be offered a plea deal so it doesn't go to trial. So there's a lot of the legal system. Look, I'm a lawyer, I'm an attorney. I think that the legal system is fantastic, but it's not perfect. And there's things that I think it's a really good avenue to have some legal representation to explain certain aspects of this. You mentioned something to me before that you were seeing this a lot. Why are we seeing this a lot? If we're talking about, and look, to be very clear, we don't have a lot of information yet about what happened. But assuming this is a classmate of Trinity's, what could possibly be a motive here? What have we seen in other similar cases?
It's really hard to speculate on what the motive would be. I've seen various motives, from jealousy to love, and then sometimes just outright sociopathic behavior. The motive is not anything that we can understand as rational people and reasonable people. But it's probably too early to speculate what the motive would be in this particular situation. But kind of going back to your original question, why are we seeing more of this? I don't know. And I think that's a question for psychologists and individuals who are really going to have to be studying what's happening with our youth today, because it's very different than what we've seen before.
Let me ask you this question. In the cases that you're seeing across the country, and would you agree with me that we are seeing a higher rate of homicides amongst U.S. teenagers? I think I've seen some statistics to indicate that. What are some of the reasons? Is it a relationship? Is it, two people who are in a relationship, classmates in a relationship? Is it jealousy? Is it something else?
It's people being crazy as hell and thinking that they can get away with stuff. It's people being hyper emotional, reacting to something that happens. Like maybe this girl, like he tried to kiss this girl, and she was like, no. And then he just was like, ah, and then just like lost his damn mind because he's hyper emotional. Crazy as hell.
Again, we cover a number of different crimes here.
I don't know. I'm not these people, but I'm just saying it nuts
on our programs. Some of them are older adults who, whether it's financial motive or a relationship or something else, do we see those kind of similar factors in teen homicides? Because again, it's just really so upsetting and disturbing to hear about.
I think we see those similar motives. I think they're a lot more emotionally related.
Sarah, yep, we're on YouTube right now as well. Yep, we're live right now. The Mystery Project over on YouTube.
And what we're seeing in some of the teen homicides, specifically when it's teen on teen violence. I wish we had an answer, and I'm sure that we can pontificate on this all day, and so can sociologists. But I think, yes, we are seeing more. It appears very obvious. I don't know how much of that is related to we have more media, so we have more access to that information than we used to. But it certainly seems like we are seeing much more of this happening across our country, whether it's a mass shooting or whether it's an individual one-on-one situation like it is with Trinity.
And by the way, we might sometimes never get a full answer as to why something happened. I think we can all agree that why Tristan Bailey was killed still is a point of mystery and makes absolutely no sense. But going back to Trinity for a second, how do you speak to the family at a time like this? How do you speak to the friends of Trinity at a time like this? It seems almost unimaginable. How do you have a conversation with them at this point? What do you try to talk to them about it? How do you try to, this is so fresh. This just happened. How does that conversation usually go?
I don't think it's much of a conversation. I think if you're close with the family, all you're doing is letting them know that you're there to for whatever they need. You're sorry, and you're there for whatever they need, and they'll let you know if there's something that you can do to help them. They'll let you know. But I think the most important thing is that they know that they are backed. They know that they're not alone in the community, and just letting them know that. From a bigger scale perspective, if you don't know them, I think that one of the most important things that you can do is give them their space, allow them to grieve, and respect their privacy if they don't want to talk. If they do want to talk, let them talk. But if they don't, just respect their privacy as they go through this grieving process, because the grieving process is real. And anyone that's never been through it which fortunately I have not personally, but I've seen others go through it. It's very important that they have the space that they want.
I think that's very well said. And aside from the family, what about the friends and the classmates within school, the community? How does this affect everybody?
Tremendously. You're talking about children that have lost a level of innocence that they'll never get back. And parents of these children need to be paying attention to them, making sure they're okay, whether they were close friends or just acquaintances, or maybe even somebody that never knew her, but it's impacting them. And it has a tremendous effect, especially on our youth when they see things like this happening, that we have to pay attention to, especially as parents.
And Matt, before I let you go, how much does a family have a say in, assuming the police say, this is our suspect, we are going to prosecute him, this is it, how much does the family have a say in the determinations of how this person is prosecuted or what happens?
It is really prosecutor by prosecutor, and how much they take into account. Most prosecutors are going to talk to the family, and most sheriff's departments are going to talk to the families, and they want their input. They're still going to carry out justice, but they do want their input, and they want to make sure that they're involved in the process. I can tell you that with Tristan Bailey's case, the St. Johns County Sheriff's Department and the 7th Circuit State Attorney's Office was amazing in communicating with them. And they did have quite a bit of conversations and impact in that situation.
Tell you what, here's what we do know. Trinity, 17 years old, taken right before her life even started. She is being laid to rest this week. Her class is set
Oh my word, only 17.
up a GoFundMe site to help her family with funeral costs to buy the tombstone. At the time of this recording, they've raised over $13,000. We're going to put it up there in case anybody wants to support and donate. Matt Hinson, I appreciate you coming on. Please extend our best wishes to Tristan Bailey's family. You do remarkable work. I hope everybody can check out your foundation that you're managing, and really you're providing great resources for people at a time when they may seem completely lost. So I hope everybody can check out the Tristan Bailey Foundation. Matt, appreciate you coming on. And again, great seeing you. I just wish, of course, it was under better circumstances.
Absolutely. And we appreciate you having us on, and we're here to help. The foundation's here to help. If Trinity's family needs help, they're welcome to reach out to us as well.